In the Sri Narasimha Stuti, verse 10, written by a leading disciple of Sri Madhvacharya, his name was Tripikaramacharya, we hear how Lord Nrsimhadev burns his enemies. Dear Lord, the effulgence of many suns is destroyed by your uncheckable potency. The many weapons sent against you are like sacrificial offerings, and you reply with unlimited weaponry. Put down, strike, and slay my illusion. Burn Nrsimha, burn my adversaries with your unbearable power. Dear Lord, the effulgence of many suns is destroyed by your uncheckable potency. The many weapons sent against you are like sacrificial offerings, and you reply with unlimited weaponry. Put down, strike, and slay my illusion. Burn Narasimha, burn my adversaries with your unbearable power. And as for Narasimha's cooling effect on his devotees, at the end, I was reading at the end of the Nrsimha Purana, Sutta Goswami says, quote, "Thus I have made you all listen to this entire Nrsimha Purana, for it removes all sins and makes men free from all pain. It ensures success in auspicious deeds and offerings. People who read or listen to either one or a half hymn of it seldom die with their sins." Now that same Purana, the Nrsimha Purana, even guarantees release from hell if one chants the holy names. In his purport to Srimad Bhagavatam 2:9-36, Srila Prabhupada writes in this regard. In the Nrsimha Purana, it is said that as the residents of hell began to chant the holy name of the Lord, they were elevated from hell towards heaven. Now I also read that Durvasa Muni has supported this view. He's written, Muchyeta yan nam yudite narako pi. Simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, the inhabitants of hell became released from the hellish persecution. As we see, Lord Nrsimhadev can be terribly ferocious. He can be super kind, and he can even be super sweet. He picked up Prahlad Maharaj and, licked him. He got an abhishek like lions do their cubs. So he can be very sweet. And this is also indicated by Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. These 12 different kinds of transcendental relationships are represented by 12 incarnations of God, and some examples he gives. Well, a few examples he gives. One, he says, the incarnation Kapila represents Shantaras, because Kapila emphasized a passive meditation. Then Rupa Goswami says, Vamanadev represents Sakyaras, because he had a friendly relationship with Indra and acts as the doorkeeper for Shutala in lower planetary systems. Then, as we're concerned today, he writes, and Nrsimhadev represents Vatsalyaras, or parenthood, because of his regarding Prahlad Maharaj as his son and placing him on his lap. Rupa Goswami, he says Nrsimhadev represents Vatsalyaras because of this mood of parenthood, when he took Prahlad and put him on his lap and like that. So again, we see, the point is, we see Nrsimha, well actually we generally think of Nrsimha in an angry form. But here we see Rupa Goswami describing him in a very sweet way, representing Vatsalyaras. Sridhar Swami, who Prabhupada describes as the original commentator on Srimad Bhagavatam, he writes in this regard, "Let me offer my obeisances unto Lord Nrsimha, who was always enlightening Prahlad Maharaj within his heart, and who always kills the nescience that attacks his devotees." And who always kills the nescience that attacks his devotees. His mercy is distributed like moonshine, and his face is like that of a lion. Let me offer my obeisances to him, Nrsimha, again and again. In ancient days, devotees in Vrindavan used to worship shalagram shila forms of Nrsimhadev to protect the temples in Braj. They used to place the open mouth of the Shila, because a Shalagram Shila is characterized by the fact that he has a gaping mouth. A tulsi leaf offered to the lotus feet of the Nrsinga Shalagram Shila destroys the sin of murder. Water that has washed the lotus feet of the Nrsinga Shalagram Shila destroys the sin of theft. Foodstuff offered to the Nrsinga Shalagram Shila destroys the sin of drinking liquor. Sincere surrender to the Nrsinga Shalagram Shila destroys the sin of adultery with the wife of the spiritual master. Association with the devotees of the Nrsinga Shalagram Shila destroys the sin of offenses to devotees. Then he concludes, this is the extraordinary glory of the Nrsinga Shalagram Shila.